you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saying that we are looking at organization and work ethics. At workplace, this is a key aspect of of something that we are supposed to really consider as managers or as any other employee at workplace. In this case, we are looking at the value of a strong workplace ethics. At workplace, we need ethics. We may not understand what ethics, the meaning of ethics. So I'll start by just defining terms so that we can get on board and understand what organization is and work ethics, the rest. So I'm going to define ethics. Ethics are the guidelines, principles that determine how employees conduct themselves in the workplace. It is a fact that every organization or every workplace has like what we call a code of conduct. I expect expectation that you're expected to carry out your task following some rule. And this is a kind of a rule or a principle that such that when you work, you are not negatively affecting your colleagues or any other person at the workplace. And these ethics will be shared. So in most cases, or sometimes you find that these ethics are well illustrated or elaborated. And sometimes you are given even to the employees, as you join the organization, you are given a handbook or you are given guidelines on how to behave when you are at the workplace. So ethics are the principles and values used by an individual to govern his or her actions and decisions. So ethics refer to the code of conduct of the individuals working in a particular organization, as you can see. The way an organization should respond to its external environment refers to the organization's ethics. So organization ethics includes various guidelines and principles which decide the way individuals should behave at the workplace. I don't think there is any workplace that someone will find themselves that will not have rules. And these are not rules that will make people feel like they are suffering, no, but they are rules that will govern people for the sake of to improve the workplace and to make or facilitate work so that work is made easier and so that people can collaborate easily. Now, today we are going to go through, as I discuss the organization ethics, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the purpose or value of the workplace ethics. I'm also going to look at the role of organizational ethics, the elements, the steps that one can take to prepare organizational ethics, and the characteristics of those ethics, examples, culture. The culture of an organization will always comprise the work ethics. And then we shall also even look at the benefits or the importance, and even check whether there are challenges that one can go through once you're looking at the organizational and work ethics. So after defining, next I look at the purpose and value of work ethics. Now, ethics are principles, as I've said earlier on, and values used by an individual to govern his or her actions. So starting internally by promoting honest, hardworking employees in a workplace, culture-driven by productivity and a strong work ethic. So employees are likely to use those driving principles of decency and fairness to increase overall company morale, ultimately improving an organization's reputation and ensuring long-term success. So there is no way we are going to be successful if we do not have a collection of agreement on how to behave, or what you, or actually on principles that you're going to take into consideration as you work. So in discussing further the purpose and the value of the work ethics, in a business, an ethical code is defined as a set of principles which guide an organization in its activities and decisions, and the firm's philosophy may affect its productivity and reputation, or even the picture or the culture that will remain long-term, way on or later on when as employees keep on joining the organization, what kind of culture will have been left behind. So among the staff, ethical behavior ensures work is completed with integrity and honesty, and staff that are ethical and that are there to the policies of the organization. So the purpose of the work ethics is actually goes hand in hand with what I'll say, how we'll value the work ethics. So workplace ethics, the value of the workplace ethics, when you are trying to analyze what value will the workplace ethics bring to the organization. Here you look at, for example, the way a company operates and is perceived by both the public and the competitors, often comes down to the workplace ethics, the way the company operates. So a truly ethical workplace should model ethical behavior from the top to down, right from the top. That is the managers, all the way down to the lower ranks of the employees. So next, I want to discuss the role of workplace ethics. When I'm discussing the role, it means that once we focus on those principles that will guide us on how we are going to work, or that will govern the employees, how they are going to work. I'm giving an example of honesty. It can be an ethic, like in this organization, let everyone be honest. So what is the role, or what is the benefit? So generally, I start by introducing in broad or in general the role of the workplace ethics, but later on we shall again see the benefits that the employee, the organization will always get once you have a company culture whereby you have well-defined workplace ethics and you follow them. So managerial style can work to improve an employee's work ethic by establishing systems and habits for accomplishing tasks efficiently and interacting effectively in the workplace. By inspiring and even rewarding ethical behavior in the individual efforts of employees, an organization can ensure that ethical conduct permits all level of organization and reaches the public's perception of the company. A culture where misconduct is tolerated could result in higher turnover, lower productivity, and ultimately a diminished reputation and profitability. This is a fact. Anytime you go to join any organization, there's this aspect of what is the culture. And eventually we will see that the company, when we are focusing on the company culture, it is actually a set of all those workplace ethics that are set in place. And not only set in place, these ethics are those that are being practiced. Because we are, again, used to many workplaces whereby we have a very good list of workplace ethics, be honest, have integrity, or time management, about time management, that you always be punctual. But you realize that these are only on notice boards. They are not being practiced. So it doesn't make much sense. And at the end of the day, you realize that there is higher turnover. People will not be satisfied. There will be no job satisfaction. And in this way, there will be turnover. People will be coming in and quitting every other time. There will be lower productivity because of lack of ethic. For example, if there is no integrity, someone is likely to tamper with the organization's funds. And what will happen after this? What will happen is that the other person may be, or the colleagues or the company may be affected negatively, that is economically. And with the time, you find that there is lower productivity, and ultimately, the reputation of the company goes down. And what do you expect? The company may end up closing down because of no profits. So work ethics matter a lot. Now, next, I want to look at the core ethical elements that define the ethics of an organization. So the core ethical elements that define the ethics of an organization. Now, before we can even list, I've given you an example of a work ethic like honesty, integrity, punctuality. It can be a work ethic. And you as a manager or an employee, you need to have a list. You can't just be at workplace. You really don't know what are the ethics here. Or if they were defined before and they're in these policies, the workplace policies, you are not even embracing them. You are not even trying to practice them. It is a requirement. So the core ethical elements that define the ethics of an organization, number one is a written code of ethics and standards. It is going to be very difficult if there will be people at workplace, but then these people, they really or exactly do not know what are the requirements. So there should be a written code of ethics and standards. That is the ethical code. Number two, ethics training for executives and managers and employees. Yes, you can be having a written code of ethics and you have just joined an organization. If you have not been trained on how to go about it, we just say that everyone have integrity, everyone be honest, everyone be punctual. We don't have the timelines, we don't have the exact arrangements, the timetables, and the descriptions of how to go about those ethics that you are required to uphold, then definitely it is going to be very, very difficult. So there is the training aspect that we are focusing on. There has to be a training for people to understand about the code of ethics. And in case they are not going to have the standards or meet the standards, then what are the consequences? Number three, the availability of ethical situational advice. We don't just say that people were introduced 3 or 5 years ago and they were trained and that's all. There comes a time or an incident pops up when you are supposed to, you are seeking more clarification, or you are seeking more advice, or you need to even redefine the ethic or the code of conduct that was put in place before. So it means that there are situational advices or pieces of advice that are required, whereby the managers, the supervisors can always guide their respective employees, those who are working under them. And then number 4, there is a confidential reporting system. Very, very important. We can't just say that, yes, they are the ethics. This person works with these standards. And then we stop there. No. At the end of it all, we need feedback. We need feedback whereby those who are in charge are going to make a report of what is happening. Are these standards being met? Very, very important. So those are the core ethical elements that define the ethics of an organization. Then next, I want to actually list those core elements, the ethics themselves, the examples of the ethics that we are supposed, or you will see being practiced in very many organizations. And once they are being practiced, they are the ones that will help the employees or the people at workplace to achieve their target or to achieve their objective. Objective is not just production. You know, in human resources, we say that, you know, human beings are not just machines. They are not just machines that you put them through a system and they are productive and they end up producing, and that's all. No. Human beings are going to work with ethics, and they are also going to work not like machines, but human beings who have feelings, who will depend on each other, will interact, who will communicate. So let me give examples of those work ethics. Number 1 is honesty. Now, honesty, this is the core element of work ethic. Any workplace, I have seen people when they are coming for interview, they are asked to describe themselves. Many people say, I'm honest. So it is because it is like, this is like a baseline. Yeah, this is like a baseline. And everyone, or at every workplace, everyone is required to be honest. So I describe it by saying this, that it is the core element of work ethics. All other elements that you will see are actually based on honesty. So successes and the failures of a company will depend on how honest all the employees or the people at workplace are. So if you're very honest, you cannot steal, isn't it? Or you'll tell the truth if you're very honest. But if you're not honest, you may end up doing things contrary to other people's expectations. And in this way, you will interact wrongly, which will bring about conflict. So when you are honest, you own up. If in case there is a problem that has occurred, or there's damage, when you're honest, you own up. But if you're not honest, we will keep on asking who did this, when did it happen? And then you will see blames and all people blaming each other. Now, when integrity is fulfilling your commitments and be consistent with your thoughts and be open with your behavior and do not lie. That is integrity. Being transparent, that is what we call integrity. And then we have impartiality. Impartiality is actually in brackets. You're going to treat people equally. We can, for example, in this case, if John is working in the same office with Lydia and Queen, we expect Lydia to treat both John and Queen the same way, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yes, we don't expect them, this partiality, like you look at gender, you say, this is a lady like me, let me be a bit biased, or let me treat them like this. No. So fairness, it is the opposite of being biased, so you don't get biased. And then we have another element that we call alertness. Alertness is be aware of what is happening in your surrounding. If you guys have at some point mentored people and you're training them, and you are these people who, there are these few people, you find a person entirely depends on you for guidance. For the past 1 week, you have been training them, still they depend on you to make decisions concerning some things. And then when now you ask someone whom you have trained for a long period of time, something that is very simple, they are still depending on you to really make a decision. They are saying that they are seeing it like you are the one who make the decision. They are not being alert. You know, being alert is that you have to know your surrounding. Everyone, even at your workplace, even at home, you don't expect to have even a worker who will entirely depend on, if you said that when it gets to exactly lunch hour, you should prepare a meal. And then it gets to exactly lunch hour, this person goes, maybe finds if they are used to use electricity, there is no electricity. And then they cannot even think within their surrounding and think like, now, how do I solve it next? So being alert is like, you know what is happening in your surrounding. Use your eyes, use your senses. At workplace, use your senses. Observe someone. We are now in this pandemic period. By the way, today in the morning hours, I was a bit low because I just lost a close friend. And now my worry was whether, though we have not interacted for quite some time, my worry was whether we are losing this close friend because of this COVID-19 pandemic. So my day, sure, my day has not been
Sorry,
good.
Esther.
Thank you. Thank you. So my day wasn't that exciting. So now I have seen an incident before whereby you are not being alert. You are at the workplace, and you see like this person is behaving like this. This person is not well. This person is unwell. You are just saying, I didn't even notice. I could have even helped. So be alert. Alertness, it's actually a core element of our work ethics. And then next we have openness. Be open. We are not saying that you tell us everything, how you cough, how you eat, what happens and where. No, just be open, share your ideas, share your results and resources. If you have information and it can benefit the others, by sharing, it will not make you not to use it. So share, be open, help others, and you are going to be only secretive or confidential where it matters. Next, we have respect for others. That is just self-explanatory. Over many years, at workplace and anywhere, even at home, wherever you are, if you are very keen, you realize that you are only respected when you respect others. But even if you find that your financial status or your economic status is higher than others, if you don't respect others, don't expect others to respect you. So you derive respect from others by respecting others. And then we have reliability and dependability. Please, you are at workplace. You can never be relied. You can never come punctual. Be punctual to meetings. Like today, you guys were so punctual. I found you in class. So at least that's a plus for you. I can brand it on you that you are very reliable because you came and joined this session punctually. Be punctual in delivering assignments, in handing in your reports, in keeping your promises. There are these people who have a weakness of every other time you are promising, but you are not even fulfilling. So the promises that you make to your clients, to your customers, to your colleagues, promise, make sure you fulfill. But if you think that you may not fulfill, you'd rather avoid promising. So be reliable, be dependable. Your boss is not around. And they keep on getting worried that the moment they just leave, you'll also leave your coat hanging by the seat so that you disappear. Let it be that once you are given responsibility, you are dependable, we can depend on you for work that can be well done. And then another ethic is determination. It's an ethic, it's a work ethic. It's an organizational ethic that once you are determined, you will always complete your work. You will always complete your job. Your work will come out outstanding. Put extra hours to you, the things that you do, so that in this way, we can say that you have a work ethic of being determined. Another one is dedication. Dedication is being very committed until you make sure that the work or your objective is met. That is being dedicated. If you are not going to complete your assignment, then we can't say that you are dedicated. So make sure that work is well done. Accountability, accept responsibility. Now, accept even the responsibilities for your mistakes. If you handle finances, accept responsibility. Be accountable to the last coin. Let us not question what you are doing. Another work ethic is responsibility. Responsible is actually will be measured by your thoughts, by your actions, by your behavior, and by your work. Thoughts, actions, behavior, and work. That is how we'll measure your responsibility. Then we have legality. Legal, like always, work within legal boundaries. Do not break the law. Do not even twist the law so that it can suit you. No, it's a work ethic. Competence. Improve your performance. You can improve your performance or be competent by learning. If you feel that you have a deficit somewhere, you can improve your ability, your mental abilities, and your professionalism and your style of work by studying or being mentored or being coached. Then we also have what we call professionalism. Professionalism starts with even the way you dress at workplace. It depends on which kind of work you're doing, because you could be a CEO, you could be a swimming coach, you could be a model. So even right from the way you dress, it depends. It's a work ethic. So you cannot go, if you are a coach, swimming coach, you cannot go in gumboots. So professionalism starts with even the way you dress, the way you present yourself in the business world, the way you treat even others, and it encompasses actually all these other elements that I've been talking about. Honesty, what is your integrity? Are you fair? Do you respect other people? And in this way, we will eventually you will be able to analyze whether someone is professional at their work or they are doing work haphazardly without being professional. Then we have humility. Humility is when you have humility is that you can acknowledge other people's contribution, that you can share credit and successes of others. Don't only say that you have a big team that is working under you and you want to take all the credit that it is you who did this. It is you who was very successful in this way. No, that is not being that is not having humility, but that is being proud. I can say that the opposite of having humility is being proud. Don't be proud. And then another work ethic is initiative. Initiative. So, do you have the ability to initiate? Or do you, we can say that do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to put forth your ideas or volunteer for work. You can initiate work. You can initiate projects. You can start something. It is actually a skill whereby you can start something. And for sure, if you really do not so much understand what you are going to talk about or to do, you can learn. So you don't just say that because I don't know, I even don't know how to start, then I cannot initiate. No, you can initiate a business. You can bring in more products. You can have diversified kind of products. That has to do with creativity and the energy and the willingness to initiate. Then to have an initiative, that is, you can start something, you can do something, you can be that creative. Then now, next, I want to say that we are supposed, Purity, to have our break.
I think Lydia has something to say.
Yes, I did not understand the difference between fairness, alertness, and openness. I think I missed out something.
Okay.
Yes.
Fairness,
alertness, and openness.
And openness. Okay. Thank you so much, Lydia. In this way, I feel I'm happy to note that you are keenly following. Now, let me go back to fairness and explain what fairness is. When you are fairness, let me say that in brackets, we say impartiality.
Yes.
Yes. So
how you treat one person is not the same.
People, yes, treating people equally.
Yes.
Not being biased. You do to all people without favor. You treat all people without favor. You treat all people as if they are equal. That is fairness or impartiality. So next is alertness. So alertness is being aware of what is happening around you and keeping an eye on things. Being aware of what is happening around you and keeping an eye on things. Let me give you an example. We are in this period where we have a great challenge of the COVID-19 pandemic. This disease is here and people are getting sick. You are the manager at workplace, or you are just an employee at whatever level. And you find that there's someone who's there working with you closely, and they are showing these symptoms. But because you are not alert, you cannot keep an eye on things. You just brush it off. And 1 week later, you realize that all people in the office have been infected. Do you think you will forgive yourself? Because you are not alert enough to see how you can help your colleague? No. So don't you think that we really need to practice this alertness? Yes. And recently I was talking to someone, a friend, whom at their workplace, one colleague got sick, but it is maybe a choice of someone to tell others or report to others, I'm sick, I have this disease, or I'm not. So the colleague decides not to inform people. But the fact is that there are some people who are more observant before, before this person could go for treatment, they had observed, and when they were, the person was given a sick leave of 14 days or 1 month, they had observed earlier on. So what remains behind is that even the office needs to be fumigated. But if you are not alert, if you don't want to know what's happening around you, places like in Kenya, where before we have been having a big challenge of terrorism, if you are not alert, you are not going to work. You are not going to make it. You will work, yes, but just like even the security need to be alert. So it is a work ethic, Lydia. Hope you've understood what being alert means. Yes.
Esther.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So Queen is speaking.
Yes, Queen.
Yeah, I think alertness is very important as a work ethic, because it also promotes, let's say, camaraderie between colleagues.
Yes.
You know, because we all come from, we are well different, but then with that it helps us to learn more from each other.
That is very true. Yes. Proceed.
That's it. Just needed to make a comment.
All right.
Thank you, Queen.
Thank you, Queen.
Very true.
Yes.
Now, next, the last one,
Esther,
before we take a break.
Question.
Yes.
From Patrick.
Yes.
He's saying, hi, Esther. What is the difference between accountability and responsibility?
Great. Now, let me, that's a good question, Patrick. Is it Patrick?
Yes, Patrick.
Okay, now let me kindly finish with Lydia. I was to do also openness.
Yes.
Okay, now let me explain what openness means. Now, openness is to share your ideas, results, and resources with the other team members, so that everyone has the same opportunity and know what you are doing. Are we together?
Yes.
So we are not saying that when you are open, you are coming to tell us the meals that you usually have at home. No, you're going to be open. So in this way, it becomes a work ethic that can help also others to benefit, like you're open to share ideas. At college level, remember those people who never used to be open, they have the information, they don't want to tell you. And even by sharing, in exam, it will not lower their grade, but they don't want to share. So openness is willingness to share information, in short. Now, Patrick, thank you for the question. I want to go back to accountability so that I can differentiate it with accountability and responsibility. Now, accountability is, I can say that I may not be able to explain accountability without mentioning responsibility, but there's a slight difference. So accountability is accepting responsibility personally for one's actions and outcomes in all situations. So if we ask, why is this pot broken here? So you say, it is me who was just passing by or near it, and it broke. And after it broke, you're going to be accountable. If it is a failure, if it's a weakness, or it's a mistake that you did, you are going to own it up. Yes, it is me who did it, and I'm going to find a solution. So accountability, I've said that it is taking responsibility, accept your actions, be answerable to your actions and the outcomes of your actions and situations, and avoiding excuses. Someone who's accountable will always not say that, I always come late because I have a very young baby. And this, so from Monday to Friday, I'll be coming to work late, and that's why the reason why I have been even coming late, and even I'll continue coming late. You are not, those are excuses. So accountability is avoiding excuses, and then admit the mistakes, and then So employers expect employees to attain high standards of accountability. And in this way, we call them responsible. So being accountable, accepting mistakes and avoiding excuses. What about responsibility? Now, responsibility, it is accepting your thoughts, your actions, and behavior at work. Being answerable, let me put it this way, that responsibility is being answerable to your thoughts, actions, behavior, and work. Let me give an example of responsibility. You realize that your boss is not around, and the situation on the ground is that you have to make a decision. Let me go back to the same example that I gave. There's a disease around and one person has been infected. Now that your boss will be coming back next week, you think that the first thing you think, you make a decision. You say, I'm going to release this employee so that they can seek medication. Number two, you make another decision by saying, I'm going to subject all the people, all of us here, so that you can get tested. And then another one is that I'm going to fumigate the place. So at the end of it all, you realize that you have used some finances. Now, when your boss is back, when people are being asked, why were the offices closed? Who made a decision that people work from home? You don't want to agree. You think you are thinking, yes, you did the right thing, but you don't want to own up. So responsibility is being answerable. You say, I made this decision, I came up with these thoughts, I came up with these actions, and I came up with this behavior at work because of this and this. So that even if I'm sacrificed for this, so even if I'm subjected to punishment for this, it is, you own it up. It is my responsibility. It is me who decided to do it. Patrick, is that clear? Patrick?
Yes, it's clear. Thanks.
Okay. So before we go for a break, I'm asking whether there is any other question.
I doubt. None has come so far. How many minutes of break do you want to give us?
Will 10 be long or it's okay? 10 minutes.
It's already 3 minutes to 4 p.m. in Kigali. So we come back at 4:05.
All right. So before you go for a break, okay? We are going to get an assignment, or you just wanted to go and read. It's an assignment.
Okay.
I want you to think about it. So I'll give you just 1 minute.
We had started celebrating that we are not doing
all of you are together.
I wanted to go and grab a cup of tea.
Yes, you can think about it. Yes, I'll just give each one. No, I'll just give one of you like 1 minute only to respond to it. It's not such a serious assignment. Okay. Yes, discuss the process or steps of developing a strong work ethic. Just think generally, like what are the if I want to come up with a work ethic like responsibility. In our organization, people are not responsible. Now I want to come up with this ethic. Now, what are the steps will I follow to develop a strong work ethic? It should not worry you. Okay, you just chat about as you come back in 5 minutes.
Yes, at 4 p.m. See you then.
Okay.
5 minutes are over. We should be back. Lydia, Queen, John, Peace. We have Axel. I think Axel joined us during the session. We have Rin. Who is Rin? Is it
Rene. He's called Rene. Rene. He's our colleague also. This is his first training.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Karibu sana. You've said Rene.
He has joined us for the first time. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I hope she's enjoying.
He's a he.
Oh. You see why we need to see your faces? So that we don't confuse a he and a she.
Yes, he wants to say something.
He's a lady, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's different. Unmute.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hello.
I'm good.
Can we see you? Your camera shy.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Just 1 minute.
Awesome, nice. You look like you are a tall person.
Yes, I'm tall.
How tall are you?
2 meter.
2 meter. What is 2 meter in feet?
In feet.
Yes.
I'm not good in those things, but actually, I'm in 1 meter 90.
Oh, you're 6 feet tall. That's very tall.
Yes.
Do you think I'm tall or I'm short? Yes.
According to how I see you, I think you're short.
How short? Let me put like that now.
Very short.
Really short.
Not so short, like it's like 1 meter and a half.
1 meter.
That's too short.
I'm actually 1 meter and
no good.
I'm 1 meter and 1.49 meters. So I'm not even 1.5 meters.
That's a right guess.
You know what really surprised me the time I came to Rwanda the first time? That must have been like 3 years ago. So you see, like on the plane, we have first class, then the business class. This lady was seated on the first class, but she looked so uncomfortable. I kept wondering, why does she keep moving? Then when it's time to alight the plane, she stood up like she was so tall. Then the other surprise got me when we got to the airport. Like those airport attendees, all of them were super, super tall. So I think I'm making a wise guess saying the Rwanda people are tall. Are we ready to do our presentation?
Yes, we are ready.
Yes.
All right, we start with you, Lydia. 1 minute.
Yes, Purity.
Yes.
You know, we divided ourselves into 2 groups.
Oh, you did?
I was with Peace and Patrick.
Okay.
Yes.
So your team has
it was first.
Who else?
Yes, it was 1, and we reached a point and we were not agreeing, so we divided.
Okay.
So it was
your team has
me, Peace and Patrick.
Lydia, Patrick.
Peace and Patrick.
And Peace,
Peace.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Then the other has Renee, Axel, Queen, and John.
Renee, Axel.
Yes, Queen and John.
Okay, that's okay. Yes, let's then start with your group. You're presenting?
So, yes.
Just 1 minute. Just a minute and then you'll be through.
Okay, I'll use 30 seconds. I'll use 30 seconds. In our discussion, we found out that the process or the steps of developing a strong work ethic must always be at the beginning when you're starting up an organization or a company. That each and everyone should have or even the top management or the CEO should have values setting, then making policies, communication, and motivation to the staff. So that's the process: setting values, developing policies, communication of the policies, and then motivating the staff to abide to the policies. By that, one can develop a strong working ethic.
What is the first thing you've said? I've not gotten it.
Values.
Setting values.
Or creating values.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. The second team?
Lydia, the next.
The second team, steps for developing the strong work ethics. We just try to highlight on about 5 steps. The first step is to create a clear goals and objectives. When the company has a clear goals and objectives, it is easier to know what kind of, can you hear me? It's easier for the company to know what kind of values to align as the core values from out of their objectives. But when your goals are not clear, the scope of your work, objectives and all that, you cannot know what kind of core values that you have to set there as your company. The second, after setting the objectives and the goals, then you do proper mentoring. You mentor your team towards the goals and objectives. Then after that, you as the management or the leading team, you set a good example. That is the third step. And then the fourth step, you create the right work environment, the conducive environment where everyone can easily embrace the objectives and the goals of the company. Through that, you build like a discipline of how things will be done. From those steps, then you can be able to have like inserting the clear values to identify regarding to your objectives and goals. Then you're now clear and sure with your targets and all that. So it will be easier to narrow to the values, the core values that will be guiding your companies or your business or whatever you conduct. In brief, that's what we highlighted as the steps. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for the response. You were given very few minutes, but you people seemingly you didn't go for a break. You went to work. And you have come out perfectly. Like you have an idea, a process from the beginning till the end. So what you have, both groups have said is very true. Indeed, you people are managers, but then we can also end with saying that you have to look for feedback. Okay, so response at the end of it all, we want to, for the two groups, it is true what you have said. After formulating those policies, after communication, after even motivating them, after even creating the right environment for them to work and even mentoring them. So eventually try to analyze, try to get feedback and see whether the work ethic, the style in which you want your work ethic to be implemented, whether it was done correctly. So feedback is when you go back and analyze and try to see whether there are adjustments that you can do. That was perfect. So I'm moving next to a very similar subtopic, process or steps of developing a strong work ethic. Process or steps of developing a very strong work ethic. Actually, basically what you have discussed is the process. But then in this side, I'll try to look at the factors to take into consideration. The factors to take into consideration as you are going through the developing a strong work ethic. You are the manager, you want to mentor people, you want to create the proper environment, you want to communicate, you want the people to start even practicing the ethic. So which are the other factors that you may consider? So number one, be professional about your work. Be professional about your work. Remember we talked about professionalism. It's actually doing exactly what the job entails. You're being professional by looking at the values and the attitudes and the expectations. So professionalism is beyond a clean shirt, attitudes. It is beyond gossip, okay, refraining from gossip. It is the fact that you are able to carry out tasks as per expectation. So as you go through developing a strong work ethic, ensure that you focus on professionalism. And professionalism, just like honesty, I said that it entails all those work ethics that we mentioned. Professionalism is also, it also entails all that there is integrity, there is honesty, there is fairness, there is even what we call consistency. You don't do this thing today and tomorrow you do a very different thing. So because I've already explained what is honesty and even reliability, being reliable, that you, being reliable is actually being responsible, that you're willing to take responsibility once you have been given an assignment, and then deliver best outputs. Under professionalism, you have to ensure that in this ethics, you're going to deliver the best outputs as per the expectation. And then be consistent in delivering good quality work and in order to earn good reputation. You know, any organization, any company, other than the company culture, that is a very important term or to look at workplace. The reputation is also very important. So once there's professionalism, there's also what we call a reputation, that the reputation of the company will come out strongly, and this is what will market even your products. So number two, manage your time. In the process, have timelines. Know what is to be done when. So it is time management in the process of developing those work ethics. And the ethics, remember, eventually, those work ethics are the ones that are going to comprise the company culture. You know, people have been asking, what is the organizational or the institutional culture? The institutional culture entails all those work ethics plus other behavior or actions that you have instilled in the company before. So that is what is going to formulate the company culture. So manage your time, know your strength and your weakness, evaluate your work in time, identify those weaknesses, and avoid distractions. You cannot manage time when you have distractions. Instead of doing this task, you say, let me watch television a bit. You are supposed to be working on your laptop, but you are on, is it Facebook or WhatsApp? So we don't exactly know whether since morning you have been at workplace, because you have just been in front of your computer. Manage your time. So time management is part, it is actually generally goes around all those ethics as you are setting. And then set yourself timelines and also deadlines. Then there is something called division of labor. You can subdivide your work into small tasks so that you can even time yourself on how to accomplish it. And then we have prioritized tasks that are of essence You start with those that are more significant, and then you end up with those that are not very significant. And then avoid a negative talk or gossip. Do you guys gossip at your workplace? Not you, others. Do they gossip? Do they backbite you? Are there people who have a negative talk? There could be. Yeah, not you, but the other.
I don't have that.
Yeah. Patrick.
They're always busy. There is no time. They can't have corridor talks. There's no time for.
Oh, you don't. If you could have had time, you could have gossiped, isn't it? So
no, it doesn't mean that. There's
yes,
no time for that. That would be a waste of the one that you have.
That is great. That is very great of you. So already you see you are practicing those ethics. And then eventually under time, avoid what we call procrastination. You know procrastination? Procrastination is when you keep on saying, I'll do this tomorrow. There is work. You have even planned your work. You have planned it, yes, and you have said that by the end of the day, I'll have finished this work. And then you say, let me take a cup of tea because after 5 minutes, I'll come and do it. And then you keep on postponing. So that aspect of keeping on postponing wastes time, and eventually you realize that you did not carry out all your tasks. I know so many people at the beginning of the year, they set their goals. Everyone will keep on saying that this year there is no procrastination. I'm not going to postpone things or work. I'm going to be doing work earlier enough. But you realize that at the end of the year, you didn't even achieve your goals because you kept on postponing them. So number 3 is keep a balance and deliver. Now, keep a balance and deliver consistent high performance work. Keeping a balance is that you are not glued to your laptop for 24 hours. You are there's something that we call work-life balance. If you cannot have what we call work-life balance, my friend, you'll collapse on that screen. So remember to do sports, sleep well, socialize, and remember if there's family, that there's family time. And so the problem is that some people who, especially those who work or like working under a system of governance that we call the laissez-faire system, where you do what you wish to do. Nobody monitors you. It is unlike authoritarian kind of leadership or democratic. Laissez-faire system is whereby you are just free to do anything you feel. So this person may have a problem with time management, and at the end of the day may not keep a balance and deliver. So let your ethics be focused on this. Finally, develop a good work habit. Actually, a good work habit is when you steer yourself. It is called self-motivation. You know, there are people who always say, I am not able to work because I always work under team. Why are you saying that? Teamwork is good, yes, but why are you saying that? It is because when you are alone, you cannot plan yourself. You want someone to be pushing you, and then you say, let's do it as a group so that it can be done. That means that you are not, you cannot steer yourself. You can do things, you are not do things on your own. You want to depend on others to push you, and this is not right. So develop good work habits, create and learn habits that you don't know, those values that you don't have. Try to habitualize them, because we always say that once you know a value like honesty, if you don't know how to practice it, you keep on repeating it. You repeat, it becomes repeated. So once something is quite repetitive, eventually it becomes a habit. Anything that you repeat is always what turns out to be a habit. So in this way, you'll have created a habit. And then another another way of developing a good work habit is being orderly. Be orderly, be neat, have speed, work smarter, not only harder, but smarter. Nowadays, everyone is working smart. Long time ago, you used to work hard,
Yes.
but nowadays is not only work hard, but you work smart. And then have that in your thought, at the back of your mind, work with this statement always. Do it right. Do it right. Do it right. Once that one is at the back of your mind, there's no way you are going to tamper with whatever you are doing or with your habits. And then develop good habits like being organized, plan activities, streamline your work, concentrate on your work. Have you seen some people at workplace? They are just a problem. You are busy with your tasks on your table, but they are keeping on doing what? Disturbing you. They are walking from one desk to another. So be organized with your work, plan your activities, concentrate on your work, complete your work, work steadily, make smart use of technology, because technology may help you to be a smart worker. So and faster. And then be in control, take responsibility, don't be wasteful, etc. So there are so many aspects that we are looking at in this. So as you are developing a strong work ethic, already you have those ethics, and I'm giving you another long list. So focus on this, also take this into consideration. Now, next is the elements of an ethical organization. Elements of an ethical organization. It is just something that we have discussed. Some of those elements are like integrity, we have discussed. How will we know that your organization is taking into consideration the ethical aspects? Number one, respect. Number two, honor, integrity. Now, Rini, continue with the list. That's how we are welcoming you.
Customer focus.
Yes, you can start with respect.
Respect. Honor.
Yes.
Integrity. Customer focus.
Yes.
Result oriented. Results oriented.
Yes.
Risk taking. Passion. And persistence.
Good. So once we see all these characteristics in an organization, we say that this organization is well founded. It has a good foundation on its ethical aspect. So respect. Respect, respect yourself. Once after you respect yourself, respect other people. You respect others by even listening to their opinions. Give others chances to even make decisions. So respect people, treat them with respect, honor. Good people are fundamentally part of good ethics. So honor others. Don't despise other people. Integrity. Integrity comes in when you want to be transparent. In short, or in simple terms, do not steal and do not do what? Do not cheat. And in that way, you will be having integrity. So an organization with integrity, we say that it is taking into consideration the ethical part of it. And then customer focus. We have customer focus because that is the core business. A company is nothing if it does not have what? Customers, and it cannot, and if it cannot sustain them. So it is nothing. So the most important aspect of a company is customer care. And then be result oriented. You cannot just work for the sake of it. You are not productive. So what we are looking at, being productive and looking for ways of bringing in results is also an ethical aspect of an organization. Then risk taking, we always say that most organizations which are business entities are risk takers because they are entrepreneurs. All entrepreneurs are risk takers. Without taking a risk, you cannot do what? You cannot say that you are now entrepreneuring into a business. So take a risk, but we are not saying that go put all the money, all the resources of the organization in a risky place and say, you know, I was trying to be a manager, I was trying to be a risk taker so that I can be labeled an entrepreneur. No, you try to balance, try to figure out so that the risks that you take are not that will cost the company a lot negatively. Then passion. Great organizations are comprised of people who have passion in what they are doing. Don't just leave your spirit at home and you send your body to workplace. You don't have passion in what you are doing. That's what some people do. Those who are suffering what we call burnout. You know, burnout is when you reach a level that you cannot even, your mind is not at the workplace. So you decide to send your body to the workplace, and as you remain, your spirit remains home to keep on hovering or roaming around. Have passion in what you are doing. It is an ethical aspect that an organization has to focus on. And then there is what we call persistence. So people in awesome organizations have the will to persist. You try something, don't give up. In short, do not give up. Once you give up, you are always.
No, I'm not.
Fast. Okay, so that's what we are asking. John, are you accountable now that you understand accountability? Are you accountable?
Best, but not very much.
You try, you always try your best. Queen, are you focused?
Yes.
You're trying to think, huh?
No. I'm not thinking. I think 90%. Of the time I'm focused, yeah.
That is a very high percentage, then that is good. Peace, you have the initiative.
Yeah.
You
I
have.
can give myself like 70%.
That is great.
Yeah, 70.
Okay.
I think she's
So
giving
Patrick,
herself too much.
No, it's not too much, Lydia. Come on.
all right. We are going to, you know, in life, there's a way others know you and there's a way you know yourself.
Know yourself. Yes. That's what we discussed in
Lydia,
another class.
Lydia is just
Okay.
teasing with me.
Okay. And there is the truth about yourself.
Yes.
So, and Patrick, how productive are you?
Sorry, I was stepped out. What's the question?
We are trying to look at the characteristics of a strong employee work ethic. So we have been going through some. Now I'm asking, do you think you're very productive?
Yes, I am.
Productive at workplace? How productive are you?
I'm commitment.
Yes.
efficient in different tasks, and completing the goals on time. Yeah.
That is great. Then it means that if we bring all that together, you're productive.
Yes.
Now, Renee,
Renee,
are you professional?
Yes.
You think you're professional?
Yes, I'm professional.
What shows that
Yeah.
you're professional?
According to the years I worked with my profession, my professionalism,
Yes.
and it's all about the years you've been doing that things you are doing also. The experience.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So do you dress professionally as according to the requirements of your workplace?
Can't you see the shirt I wear?
All right then. So that's how we start checking.
Yes.
So that we can rule whether you're professional or not.
Not.
Whom have I not mentioned?
Patrick, have you talked to Patrick? I had dropped off for a while.
John.
Yes,
John.
Patrick. Oh, June.
John.
June.
John.
John. Yes, John. John.
John and
No, I think they allowed me because I was the second, if not the first.
John talked about accountability.
Esther, Axel, you
So,
did not mention Axel.
Axel, are you dedicated at workplace?
Hi, can you hear me? Yes.
Do you think you are dedicated?
Yes, I am dedicated to my work.
Is Axel there?
He's there.
You're waiting for him to respond.
He's trying to work with his microphone.
Okay.
Okay. So he'll tell us how dedicated he is to this class.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. So, and also the desire to improve. Another characteristic of strong employee work ethic is the desire to improve. Employees who embrace feedback and learning moments show that they are willing to work to grow in their careers. So you should look like an employee who has not given up, but someone who's ready to improve. Now, next, because of time, we are looking at the basic work ethic for an organization, basic work ethics for an organization. So ideally, the policies a business operates with are compassion, fairness, honor, responsibility. I've been mentioning that. Integrity, all those are ethics. So one of the best ways to communicate organizational ethics is by training employees about company standards, basic work ethics for any organization should include the following. Now, basically, when we are at workplace, let's ask ourselves, do we take this into consideration? Uniform rules and regulations, that is fairness, I talked about it. Communication of the rules and regulations to all employees. Respect for employees. Allow a degree of freedom to employees without constant micromanagement. That one, decision making. You don't just make decisions as top level manager and forget about others. Now, clear-cut salary and promotion policy. Do you have this problem at your workplace? Like salary, you have to keep on threatening people that you are likely to quit so that you can get increment. Clear-cut salary and promotion policy, it helps. Clear and uniform holiday schedule for everyone, that is transparency. Effects of work ethics within an organization, and how leadership ethics and employee ethics can impact on the organization. So basically, this is just a wider or a broader part of how we should take into consideration the ethics that we know of in an organization. So examples of ethical work practice include no organization should depend on unfair means to earn money. That is integrity, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, that's an example. I just want to give you practical examples so that we don't make this topic to be so abstract. Then childhood is the best phase of one's life, and no child should be deprived of his childhood. That is legal. Yes, the legal aspects. Take into consideration the legal aspects of workplace. Employees should not indulge in distraction or manipulation of information to get results. Now next. Rini, your assignment is still waiting for us. So just please read for us. We are awarding marks.
You want me to read this?
Yes, just go through.
First, no organization should depend on unfair means of earns money. Childhood is the best phase of one's life, and no child should be deprived of his childhood. Employees should not indulge in distraction or manipulation of information to get results. There must be absolute fairness in
monetary
trading. Organizations must not discriminate any employee on the grounds of sex, physical appearance, age, or family background. Organization must not exploit any of the employees. Organization must take care of the safety of the employees. Individuals should not be exposed. Never lie to your customers.
Thank you so much. So never lie to your customers. Are we tempted to lie at one point so that we can promote our products?
Or if we don't meet the deadline?
Yes, delivery.
Yes.
That's a holy lie.
That wouldn't be professional.
Yes. So it is so debatable.
Yes.
That is very debatable whether you should lie or not, because for those who are Christians, there's a time there were lies. There's a person who lied by when they traveled. Abraham lied that this is not my wife, so he gave his wife to the king. No, now we ask, is that a holy lie or it was wrong?
It was wrong.
It was wrong.
Yes.
It is debatable, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, because of time, so we move forward.
Just before you move, Axel had sent a text and said that he's always dedicated by ensuring that everyone is comfortable with the technologies they use every day.
Is that true, colleagues?
But he's having challenges with his own microphone.
Colleagues, maybe he concentrated on making others very comfortable and now
forgot about himself.
Yes, and forgot about himself.
At his own expense.
Yes.
Yes. So that is true.
Okay.
Yes. Now I move forward to the next ways or culture. This is what I meant here. The company, I've already said that the company, if we bring all these ethics together, the organizational ethics together, and it is not that all companies or workplaces or organizations or institutions try to practice all those ethics. There are many, but the company that is very professional is one that is practicing all that, but you just try. So the group or the team or the grouping of all those ethics that have been brought together in an organization and they are being practiced is actually what will formulate the company culture. So how is the culture like? Those people are honest, they are corrupt, or they have integrity, or they're always punctual. So it becomes the culture, and this culture will be embraced by everyone. So putting ethical design into practice, once you are looking at the company culture and you are trying to focus on all those ethics that must be considered, they should be considered right from hiring, evaluation, and even all the way to compensation, right from the hiring as managers. Try to analyze whether the ethical design is implemented in hiring. What kind of people do you hire? What are what do you put into consideration when you are hiring? Are you hiring the best candidates, or you are just biased because you have a relative? So evaluation, ethics can be woven into the design of performance evaluations to highlight their importance to the organization and as well as the reward and encourage good behavior. So try to evaluate, and in the evaluation process of the work standards or the work or the kind of production that is done, are you taking into consideration the work ethics? What about compensation? Compensation is always through, you can be compensated through salaries, you can be rewarded. Are you taking as a manager into consideration the ethical design when you are compensating people, even if it's prize giving, even if it's acknowledging someone? What level of ethical standards do you have? So next, I want to look at the best practices in creating and sustaining ethical culture. The best practices in creating and sustaining the ethical culture. So number one is strong values. Strong values. Number two is well-crafted code of conduct. So we go back to Lydia. Lydia, please take us through all this. Sorry, the second part is going up to number 10, though listed twice, 1 to 5, 1 to 5. So you can go 1 up to 10. Read for us through.
Among the best practices in creating and sustaining ethical culture, we have strong values statement, well-crafted code of conduct, leading by example, executive modeling, comprehensive ongoing ethics training, integration of values into work processes. I think John and Queen had copied this.
Yes, you want them to proceed.
So
John?
Yes, John.
We made it.
Read for us the second part. Establishment.
That's John to read.
Are you present, John?
He has a problem with
establishment of a confidential reporting mechanism, transparent investigative process of ethics violations, effective ethics governance, periodic revision of ethical standards, unwavering focus on constant improvement.
Okay. Thank you, John. So now, at your own time, please, I want you to focus on this. Try to see whether there is strong value statement, There is modeling. Modeling is when you keep on training others, those who are coming in on values, those who are joining the organization, about governance, standards, what kind of standards you have. So next we look at the ways on how managers can instill strong work ethics among employees in a workplace. This one, you people tackled it very well when I told you to give me the steps on how you can go about developing those ethics. So have clear objectives, you mentioned that. Mentoring, you said it. Example, you people, now group two, you mentioned all this. Had you read about it? Had you read this presentation like earlier? Because you really mentioned even, yes, I can
No,
see
No,
you
we saw the presentation
we were
today.
just discussing.
it just came from your mind. That's why I said you people are geniuses. So you said goals and objectives. Yes, mentoring, you said people have to be trained. And then you mentioned be an example, create the right work environment, consider professionalism, discipline, understand your employees' needs, culture, fuel their spirits by motivating them, and eliminate what? Obstacles. Perfect. So what is the importance of work ethics? Definitely, work ethics, once they are being practiced in a given organization, they are very beneficial. So number one, attention to business ethics has substantially improved society. Number two, they help maintain a moral cause in turbulent times. Number three, cultivate strong teamwork and productivity. Number four, they support employee growth and meaning. Number five, ethics programs are an insurance policy. They help to ensure that policies are legal. They keep on reminding us about legality of the way people behave. Ethics programs help avoid criminal acts of omission and can lower fines. And then they help manage values associated with quality management, strategic planning, and diversity management. And then ethics promote a strong public image. Overall benefits of programs, generally, there is benefit. Every integrity has benefit. Honoring others has benefit. Punctuality has benefit. We can say that they are very, very important. It is actually a significant aspect of our workplace, or something to consider at the workplace. And then next I'm moving to almost conclude. But before I can conclude, let me say this. Let me comment on this. Now, let's look at number 10. For more attention to ethics in the workplace is the right thing to do. I just want us not to respond, but think about it. Think about this. All these that we've listed, plus more, all the work ethics that we have listed, plus more others that we may not have mentioned at your workplace. How far have you gone, or to what level? When you try to list them, if they are 100 or 50 or 30, how many work ethics principles have you selected as a company and brought on board so that you can, so that every employee can embrace them and work with them? You can be having all these ethics as just a formality. They are always there on the notice boards. Some are there in your everywhere you go, and you are not practicing them. From this list that you're expected to do, to what level or to what percentage are you practicing this? So that is what I thought of, trying to remind you to figure out at what level or to what extent or to what percentage are we practicing this? So in conclusion, today the notion of ethics is extremely widespread. They are an important part of our personal and our working life. With a positive work ethic, individuals can become more focused and responsible regarding their work. The individual can also cultivate a sense of achievement, and this too has a positive effect on their career development and also on the culture and productivity within the enterprise. Now I ask Queen, do you think that is true? Is it true? You can reread it, try to go through it, and do you think that is true?
Yes.
You agree?
I do, yeah. Because I think that cultivating a work ethic or being in an environment where they enhance it, it's like learning. So the more you cultivate it, it becomes part of you, it becomes a habit. And yeah, so I think it's true. I agree with the statement.
You agree with it?
Yes.
Okay. Peace, you agree also or you disagree?
I agree.
Yes. Okay. What do you agree?
Hello?
I'm asking, you agree that today the notion of ethics is extremely widespread. How? Okay. Okay, so in short, we are trying to almost agree, all of us, that an organization that does not take into consideration the ethical part and in workplace activities, I will say that that will be an organization that will have failed. I don't know whether there is a question. Patrick, you have a question?
I do.
Yes.
That's John.
John, not Patrick.
Oh, this I can see this is John. John.
But
Kindly.
maybe Patrick had, I don't know, but I also have it.
Okay.
My question now, you see, every company is built, it has a founder. The owner who founded the company, or the team that founded the company. Everyone has his own personal values. Now, there's also the company values. Now, I was following this, and the question came to my mind. You find, is there any relationship? What do you think? What can you comment regarding the personal values and the ethical values of that person who founded the company and that company? Can't that personal values affect the company values and ethics? If that person has no good moral values, and if that person has good moral values, I mean, can't the way of that person behaves and the values and the ethics, can't it be also the company reflect the person who founded it and all the management or the leadership? What do you think about that? I don't know if it's clear.
Let me explain how I'm getting your question. You are saying this, that in case of a company, and then there is the founder of this company. This founder of this company could be having personal values, what they value and what they do and their actions. And then at the same time, there are these people who are employees in the organization who are also trying to, I don't think they are allowed to come up with their personal ethics or values, but they are following the company's ethics. And if it so happens that the ethics, I may not call them ethics, those values of the founder, that are personal differ with the values of an organization as per the job requirement. When they contradict, isn't there going to be a problem? Is that your question, John?
It's almost like that, but I was like trying to say, can't they influence the companies?
They do.
Can't they?
The personal ethical values of that
Values.
person, can't they
Yes.
influence the companies that he founded?
Yes, that is very, very true.
Correct. Yeah.
That is very, very true, because purity, you see that everyone, if there's the founder of the company, and at some point you may realize, you may find that the founder could be even the CEO.
Yes.
And if they have their very personal values, which in this case, in case they are negative, they really influence the outcome. They are going to influence the customer strength. So I agree with you, John, that if it so happens that the values are negative, especially, they have an impact on production.
True.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I wanted to ask that because I know one of the companies, one of
Yes.
the CEO is one of the founders, is a co-founder. He's that person who is not honest. Then you find in some of the business activities, there's kind of dishonest in the transactions and all that. Now I was like, you are employed, you're an employee in that kind of company that is having such a kind of not being straight. There's no an integrity, that kind of value of integrity. Now,
Yes.
you are employee, you can't change the values. It's not written as the value, but the way it is implemented, you know, it's the value that is there softly inserted in the system. And it is initiated by the founder, who is the boss now, and is not being honest. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. Let me interject, Esther.
Yes.
Because you see, before these companies or organizations become glamorous, they become big, they started, the owner, who we call here the founder, started it as a concept. And if the first business deal they did, they were not honest, you see, even when they get their first employee, that is what they will learn from the owners of that organization. So even before you know it, it becomes a culture. And you see, that is why sometimes in Kenya, corruption is so popular, because when we start a business, you start it on a basis of corruption. So even by the time employees come, it's corruption. So like, I totally agree with you. And it's not only on the bad aspects, but also on the good aspects as well. Because if the owners or the founders are have integrity, they are honest, they're accountable, they're responsible, these are the same traits they will share with the first employee, the second, the third, the 100th employee, you know. But the same is, the opposite is the same. Bad culture or bad traits, they trickle down to those employees that joined later. And that is why a new employee joins and you tell them, this is how we do things here. So you see, where they came from, they will think integrity is very critical. But they move to a new company, they find integrity went through the window. So I think as for the owners, they really influence even the culture that such organizations will take in the long run.
But purity, again, remember, as an employee, you
on
don't
that,
just say that
on that sense,
you can
that
do
case,
something
how can
about it.
Yes, you can do something about it.
Yes.
John is asking something.
can,
What are you asking, John?
Sorry, you're coming from that company that has that integrity, and you're joining the other that is not having, and you're not comfortable with that, being dishonest or something like that. How can you behave? You're an employee, you can't change that system. What do you think?
I think maybe you start with a conversation just to understand where they're coming from, because you see, that could have happened maybe over 10 years. So it is imprinted in their blood. By having a small conversation here and there, giving even new ideas how to circumvent or go around the issue, you know, just to bring the integrity issues. You don't have to come openly and say, this is not right, or this is not integrity according to me. But just pick small conversation on the very small of items, not necessarily everything, but just try to see who are you able to talk to bring out these issues of ethics or integrity, because ethics is very closely related to integrity, you know. So just have a conversation with someone. Also look for influencers. I think we've really talked about influencers in this training. Look for someone who the owner or the manager or the leader listens to, like they have their ear. Then just try to see if it's something that you're able to change. Esther, what
That is very, very true. What you have said, Purity, is very, very true, that you cannot just give up and just say that let things continue being the way they are. No, you can do something about it. And you know, in this case, you are bringing about change. And change is always a bit resisted. In case in the past you have learned about you have had a session on change management.
We did yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Like at some point you are told that you bring it in bits. You don't just make changes within one day and you just overhaul everything. No. So you can bring in communication bit by bit. You can bring in, we say that action always speaks louder than words. So for this lot of people who are just so corrupt,
ethical,
and this person who's bringing in a bad image to the customers, you try to behave in a way that you are transparent and you influence themselves. So I'm saying that we don't give up, you bring in change bit by bit, and at some point you realize that the same person is likely to even offer you the job that they are not able to do perfectly, or the ownership of including the company. Yes, that is it.
All right.
Over to you, Purity.
Oh, you're done. That was fast.
Yes, there's a quote.
Yes.
Who's going to read for us this time round?
Patrick. Patrick has not spoken today as much.
What's that? Sorry. I was about to leave.
Yes, sit down and read the quote.
So quote.
Yes.
3 rules of work. 1, out of the craft, find the simplicity. From discord, find harmony.
Yes.
In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Give us closing remarks, Patrick, before you go.
Purity, you're the best.
I'm in the spirit. Like I'm a trainer. I learn people. Patrick, closing remarks.
Thank you very much. So thank you for the trail.
Yes.
We are happy and we are learning a lot of things. So, and even we are improving in our daily work.
All right, thank you. Where's Peace? Peace has also left.
She's here.
Where are they hurrying to?
Yes, Peace, what are your closing remarks?
What are your closing remarks? Oh. Okay. Purity?
Yes?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Yes. Come on, Lydia. So I'm happy for this training, even though I had a lot of work to do. So I was not more concentrated. I'm sorry, but for the first What did I learn? Don't confuse me.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure I'm going to be improving on many things. On ethics at work.
Yes, make sure you watch the
I'm
video.
dedicated, I'm
If you did not
already
Uh-huh.
initiative, I'm honest, I'm not very punctual.
All right, make sure you watch the video for the parts that you missed. All
I'm
right.
happy that this is going to be honest.
Yes. Okay, John, you want to give us closing remarks?
This was very interesting, and you see, everyone is laughing, so it means that everyone enjoyed the session.
Yes.
And I think ethical values, it's a very important thing that everyone needs to have. Not even the company; it starts with individuals.
Yes.
If you don't have ethical values, actually it's difficult even to follow up the company values. You do it because you fear the regulations of the company and all that. But if you are not personally ethical, it is going to be difficult. So I think it needs to start with the individual, and it's a very good, interesting. So we enjoy it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Where did that girl go?
He's here. People are already standing up.
Today, everyone must speak. Axel, you're next.
What do you mean by late?
Everybody was ready to go home.
Everybody was ready for sure.
No, some are still sleeping.
As we wait for Axel, Queen Elodie.
Yes, Axel was here actually. He's speaking from my
Laptop. Okay.
Yes.
Let's listen to Axel then Queen, then Lydia.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes.
Although I jumped in when you had started, I appreciate the training. I could we worked on the work ethics with John, so I'm evolving.
Awesome. Queen
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes, Purity. Yeah, thank you very much for this afternoon. It was quite interesting and amusing. And yeah, and also we appreciate the assignment. This when we discuss, because there's a way you discuss, you put yourself in the shoes and you start bringing in ideas.
Yes.
So yeah, we're grateful. And,
awesome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Lydia?
Thank you very much for the training. Have a nice evening.
Okay. I have a present for you.
Okay, thank you so much. You have an assignment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just look
we
at
are
me.
ready for it.
Yeah, you know this. You've seen this fruit before?
That's a fruit.
It's a
Is
small
there a way
fruit.
you can send it here?
Now tell me the name, then I'll send it.
Wild berry. It's called a wild berry, right?
It's called gooseberries.
Oh.
Gooseberries.
Some knows it in a local language, you know.
Okay. Then have a good evening.
Yes,
Bye.
enjoy your evening, guys. See you on Thursday. Bye-bye. God bless you all.
Bye.